Welcome or welcome back to Justin Nelson's Projects. This is just a little teaser update. I've got a big update video coming for the HyperHDR Ambilight project coming up very soon. I mostly did this so that we can look at HyperHDR. I want to explain a couple of things that are tripping people up. So let's get into the HyperHDR configuration. Now, on my web tutorial, there is a section called Quirks. And what that explains is in the video capture section here, you'll notice I've got the hardware brightness. I've got it dialed back quite a bit for my particular setup. Normally, you would have that somewhere in the 0 range, really. But you don't want to set it at 0. That's the quirk. If you set any of these at 0, it will set it to the hardware default. Now, let me show you why that's a problem. Look at the hardware defaults. These numbers are way just obnoxiously crazy. They don't make any sense whatsoever, and I'll show you how you can tell what HyperHDR is saying, because this is something I didn't cover in the tutorial before. This button right here, if you click on that button right there, this is a preview. If you're not seeing it, make sure you click live video here. You'll see the preview. That's just my Xfinity streaming box little screensaver thing. Now, you'll notice I do have the brightness down a bit. Again, it's my particular TV setup. Here's what I want to show you. If you set any of these at 0, they take on that ridiculously crazy default setting. So let's set the hue control, for example, to 0, which is where you would normally want it. 0 meaning no change in the hue. And if we hit save settings, all of a sudden our colors are completely wrong. If you looked at that and you looked at your LEDs, that's not representative of what's actually on your television screen. So setting this just to 1, which out of 127, that's not really a big change. So boom, all of our colors are normal. And the same goes for the rest of this. So for example, saturation, sometimes you want to dial up the saturation or dial it back a little. A lot of times it's better to do this in the hardware control before you go changing it in the image processing. So let's say you want it black and white. Well, you would put that at 0. I thought it was highlighted there. You would put it at 0 to go black and white, but 0 just kind of throws it at one of those random numbers, and that's definitely a little more than 0 saturation. But watch what happens when I just turn it to 1 and save settings. All of a sudden, give it a second, now we're in black and white. I usually keep it at about 96, actually. 127 is the middle. The tutorial shows you a little more detail about how to get your real min-max values, and then you want to set it somewhere in the middle of those and then tweak as needed. But one thing I failed to mention in the tutorial, and I'm going to update it very soon here, is this little trick. Using this so that you can preview exactly what HyperHDR sees. So if your colors are wrong or you're just getting all white or whatever, use this, and these settings, these actual direct hardware settings, show you exactly what HyperHDR sees. Now, in the upcoming video, I'm testing a different idea here. It's something I did in a previous video some years ago, but I'm revisiting it because I like the idea. So currently, I recommend, and I still do recommend, this little game capture device and the EasyCoo whatever HDMI Splitter. This combination works really well to pass the full 4K video to your television and a downscaled 1080p over to the Raspberry Pi. And it passes, as long as you keep that switch on, copy 1. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's all explained in the other videos. But this is a great little guy, and it does pass Dolby Vision and HDR and Dolby Surround, all that fun stuff. However, I ran across this. Now, I had a similar device to this in the past that did not pass 4K. I'm pointing on the wrong side again, mirror image and all. But this is a pass-through device, so you've got an input and an output. So you feed your source directly in, and it goes out to the television. No splitter needed. And then there's a USB that goes directly to the Raspberry Pi. There's some audio jacks on here you don't need to mess with. And of course, my Pi of choice, as if you've watched this channel at all, you know, is the Pi 02W. It's a fantastic little computer, and it's more than powerful enough for this setup. And one of the new things that I've introduced with my level shifter kit, you can get these on my store. There's a link below for that. Along with this, whichever variation you get, you always get my new header pin adapter cover thingy. I don't know what I'm calling it yet, but if you line it up this way, make sure that the power holes there, that's so you can connect a fan to the 5 volts if you want to, but make sure that lines up with this side of the pin header. Now, on a Pi Zero, the SD card is right up here on the top, but on a Pi 4, it's going to be over here. But this is still going to be on, from your point of view, the top right of the board. You take this and you line it up to all 40 pins and you push down. I'm hoping that's in focus and getting enough light. It takes a little bit of force, but it's a tight fit on purpose. And now, the only pins exposed are the ones you're going to actually use. So, for example, of course, on the level shifter, you've got a choice. You can either use the traditional GPIO 18. So you take your green and your white, and you locate the green and white dot, and you plug that in. Nice and secure, as opposed to the old method of having 2 separate individual wires just hanging on the bare pins. If you want to use the SPI method, well, I've exposed those 2 pins as well. And just make sure the green and the green are lined up and the white and the white. And you've got a ground and the SPI Mosey output. And there you go. Just a simple little bonus I'm throwing in as part of the level shifter kit. Now, in the upcoming video, I'm going to surprise a friend of mine who's a little jealous of my setup. He loves the Ambilight, but he's not very technical at all. And I want to show him just how easy this can be. So I picked up a brand new, not a sponsor, but I do have affiliate links below, brand new set of the BTF lighting WS2812B, a brand new strip, never even opened until just now. I'm going to bring this over along with this particular Raspberry Pi Zero 2W, and I particularly like this enclosure kit. It's metal. It comes with little thermal pads, and in the upcoming video I will demonstrate assembling this, and it provides a nice little fanless heatsink setup, and it's exactly what I have behind my TV upstairs. You'll find out in the next video whether I've decided to stick with the old capture and splitter combination or the simplified pass-through capture device. None of these things are sponsored. These are all just Chinese-made products. They don't ever mention Dolby or any trademark names, but they do pass that all just straight through, including HDCP or copy protection, because we're not trying to copy the video. We're just trying to look at it so we know what color to light up a few LEDs behind the TV. I mean, if anything falls under fair use, certainly it's that, lighting up your room with the lights from the content. That's all we're trying to accomplish here. Make sure you're subscribed down below. Hit that thumbs up if you like this little update video. And I will see you on that next video at my buddy Bruce's house.